Happy 420 to all my smokers out there. High key, a day better than Christmas. My fault, Jesus. The only day a year where a smoker can spend $100 on weed and not stress that they smoked it all in one day. Shout out to Waldos for coming up with this term. They found an abandoned cannabis crop farm and decided to pick the cannabis after school and decided the time 420 was the best time to do it, which, side note, is hard as hell. While the rest of your classmates are doing sports, jobs, theatrical or music activities, you and your friends are out there getting the gas for free. Anyways, they then later decide to use it as a code of smoking marijuana, but how it became mainstream is they started hanging out with this band called the Grateful Dead, and they would use the slang pretty much often. Then sometime in the 90s, a reporter named Steve Bloom for the High Times magazines pretty much stamped 420 as the day to smoke weed. And since 1991, April 20th has been stamped as the day to smoke gas. But when coming up with the idea of what to talk about in this video, I remembered there's multiple ways to smoke weed. Of course, you have the natural way, the way we all love. Actually, give me a second. There we go. I had to get right for the occasion type shit. But the good old natural way, smoking a blunt or from the bong, we don't discriminate. Or the new gen way, smoking on a good old cart. Now, I can already tell where most people are gonna lie. They're gonna pick the weed. Obviously, it's the most natural way to consume it. You don't gotta worry about any extra shit that may come with a cart because it comes from the earth. But I ain't gonna lie, nigga, we done with the 90s, especially as a young nigga who was smoking yards in the bathroom in high school. I can confidently say I'm completely unbiased in this conversation. So let's get into it. If there was one thing that we can all give cart is accessibility. It's just easy to get a cart as well as it's easier to just smoke a cart. To be frank, a lot of people, not me, can't roll. Also, a lot of people may not have the best connect when it comes to getting plugs. Also, all the things you need to get to assemble a blunt, it just be too much low key. Like you need papers, leaves, or woods, maybe some grappa for all the niggas who want to punch, and a lighter. And hell, 90% of the list, you need to be over 21. It is low key easier to just get a cart from an older brother or get a yart from a nigga in school. Also, you can just smoke the pen anywhere because there isn't really much of a smell. You could get away with smoking cart pretty much anywhere. You at work, you need a little bit of a uplift, take a few blinkers in the back. You bored at school, take a couple blinkers in the stall. You out in public with friends, pull out yart and start chiefing, gang. And I'll say this, I've had more booth weed than I've had booth carts. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, in terms of getting high, I will say the high is pretty much the same. You're not really missing any type of experience from weed to cart. I will say with cart, it will be more of a head high. So you're going to feel it more in your head and your eyes compared to weed where it's probably going to be distributed throughout your body. I'd also say yard high makes me more tired. Like I sleep more off of a cart than I do off of a blunt. With a blunt, I'm chill. I'd be up just straight chilling. With a yard, I'll be up straight chilling, but I'll go to sleep eventually. Now, cart does get you more high faster. The only issue is it doesn't last that long compared to a blunt where it's usually a buildup and the high can last, depending on how good your weed is, a couple of hours. With yart, you can take two blinkers. You're probably fried for an hour and a half. You gotta take another two after that. With a blunt, depending on your tolerance and how good the weed is, you probably smoke a whole blunt and you good for the day. So I'd say the weed high is better, especially because I'm a type of nigga where I like to enjoy the high. I like to be up. I like to chill, vibe. I definitely prefer that than just going to sleep. Now, I will say the action of smoking a blunt is definitely better than the action of smoking a pen. Much love to tapping pen. I love tapping yard. But not gonna lie, it's just too rough on the throat. You gotta have chaser with cart. Blunts more often than not are just gonna pull more smooth. And even blunts that punch, like even the blizzies that really hit a motherfucker, I'd still rather take that than how rough cart is. Though regardless, if you are gonna smoke, please make sure you bring a bev. I don't care if it's a water, a Gatorade, an Arizona. It could be Flint tap water. All I care. Just make sure you're hydrated, especially in the box, boy. And speaking of box is officially the best way to consume cannabis. Whether it's alone or with your homies, box in a car or room or house, it's just so fire. And for those who don't know what a box is, essentially it's where you're in an environment, say your room or your car, and you pretty much do not allow the smoke to escape said environment, allowing the smoke to build up in the air. So while you're smoking, you're pretty much breathing back in the weed. Super efficient, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it gets you more high. Maybe it's just me, but I definitely feel like you get higher in a box. Now, technically, you can box with a cart. Like I've done it before. I've boxed a bathroom. I've been in a bathroom where others have boxed with cart. I've even boxed a car before, but it's just not the same. We just don't hit as hard. Overall, weed is better, though. I ain't gonna lie. Personally, I would not mind if I had a cart and not a blunt. Like I'm not tripping. Like if I woke up and I only had my pen, I'm not finna crash out. But would I rather have a blunt? Absolutely. But regardless, no matter how you decide to enjoy the cannabis, whether that's dabs, bong grips, pipe pulls, blinkers, or just a good old fashioned bluntski, enjoy yourself in this wonderful holiday and enjoy responsibly. Though I feel like I don't have to say this to weed smokers, not too much on my tweakers or my drunks, but I just feel like I don't have to say this to weed smokers. Don't smoke with everyone, but if you do smoke with someone, make sure they got no diseases and make sure you puff pass, nigga. Don't get caught chiefing the blunt. You will get smacked. And most importantly, make sure you get absolutely fried. But anyway, much love, much peace. I need to finish this before I partake in the activities.